What's good? Thank you for stopping by to visit the channel for this upcoming game preview of Georgia and Texas. If this is your first time visiting this channel and you want to hear a different take of college football from an analytical perspective, please hit that subscribe button, click the notification bell, and select all so you don't miss another video. Also, like the video and share the video. It helps this channel grow. Give me your score prediction in the comment section below, even if you agree or disagree. Also, please make sure you visit the website at collegefbgeek.com for more charts, ratings, and as well as game previews and analytical stats as well. So without further ado, we start off with every single game preview of the tail of the tape of advanced metrics between Georgia and Texas. When you have a chart that is full of pushes, these type of previews are really fun to look at, and the reason being is that because it warrants a lot of information and a lot of deep dive analysis to figure out exactly what is going to happen in the game and what is to be expected. The smart people in Vegas has this game favored, with Texas as a 4.5 point favorite in DKR. So not really used to seeing Georgia not being favored in this game, in this particular game. But with the way Texas has been playing this season and the way Georgia has been playing throughout the season, Texas has been a little bit more consistent than Georgia. I think this game may have proven that there's going to be a different identity for Georgia. Georgia earlier in the season was trying to be a little bit more balanced, trying to go with run and pass, but it looks like they're going to be a little bit more of a passing team. And with Carson Beck slinging it around, I mean, he threw for over 450 against Mississippi State last weekend, even though Mississippi State lost to Toledo a couple of weeks ago. So not really something that, you definitely want to cheer for, or whatever the case was, or hoop and holler about. But at the end of the day, 450 is 450, and when you're able to have a sack rate allowed of 0%, so that basically means that the pass pro is actually impressive. The issue for Georgia is that their inability to run the football, especially against Mississippi State. 25% of their runs were stopped at or behind the line of scrimmage, and they had a 42.9% rushing success rate. That typically doesn't happen when it comes to Georgia. They're known for being physical at the point of attack and at the line of scrimmage, especially on the O-line, but the fact of the matter is they weren't able to push the pile as effectively as they could against Mississippi State. It looks like they're going to have to change their philosophy, and I think that might be for the better of them if they're going to put the ball in the hands of Carson Beck more often. If you have a lot of red on your side of the box score, that means you did not have a good day on offense. Texas completely smothered Oklahoma, and it was expected. Oklahoma didn't really have any vertical threat with all of their wide receivers being out for the game. And when you're going up against Texas, you have to show up at least at full strength, because if you have multiple players being out, especially in the spot of wide receiver, they're definitely going to jump on you. And that's exactly what Texas did in this game. They really flexed their muscle. I would really like to see Texas being challenged, so to speak, going into this game, but unfortunately that really wasn't the case. So in the Red River rivalry, it's usually a knockdown, drag-out game within the last few years or so, but this one was a blowout. It was definitely well expected. Texas, they took care of business. So this is really one where you applaud them for beating a team that you are supposed to beat. Sorry, Oklahoma fans, but that's really where you were, last week. So you didn't really have a whole lot of players to work with. So you gotta give Texas their due. They beat them, the way that they should have beaten them. So remember when you looked at the tail of the tape and you saw that there were pushes everywhere, and this warranted a deeper dive of analysis to figure out exactly why the spread is where it is? Well, when you see when Texas has the ball against the Georgia defense, you definitely understand why that is the case. As great as the Georgia defense has been in previous years, this is not their usual standard. Texas holds a significant advantage in the major categories when they have the ball on offense. There is one spot that I am curious about with regards to Texas having the ball on offense, and that is their run-pass splits. They are 52-48 run-pass ratio. Now, the problem is when you're playing against Georgia, Georgia has the advantage here in their run defense. They're 14th in the country in rush defense per game when you adjust for opponent through EPA standards, and also their defensive stuff rate 28th in the country in that metric, and defensive line yards 33rd. So they hold significant advantages in that particular aspect. So I'm not sure Texas is going to try to test Georgia's manhood up front. I don't think that is a good idea here. I think the way that they're going to attack Georgia's defense is the way that everyone has been attacking Georgia's defenses, and that is through the air. Georgia's defense has seen more pass than run, and that is expected only because they can definitely be had in that secondary. And if you saw that game against Mississippi State last week, Mississippi State had a lot of success through the air against Georgia's secondary. So I think that's going to be Sarkisian breaking those tendencies. I know he likes to have a bit of a balance with running and passing, but I think this might be a little bit more pass than he is going to be leaning towards run in this case, because I think Georgia's goal is try to make them one-dimensional, but with their secondary, not being as good as it has been in previous years, I think Texas has a clear advantage, especially on offense. Now, when Georgia has the ball on offense against Texas's defense is strong in a lot of major categories. What is weird to me is that this looks like Georgia's defenses throughout the past. So Texas, number 1 in the country in adjusted rush defense EPA, number 1 in defensive scoring rate, basically the number of times that your opponent gets into scoring territory, and points per opportunity. Basically, Texas is not really giving an inch when you get inside the 40-yard line. They are allowing 1.74 points per scoring chance. That's less than a field goal, guys. That's very, very good. They're going up against a Georgia offense, when they have the advantage in almost every major category. Georgia has been a little bit more explosive lately when it comes to this. 51st in the country in offensive explosiveness. But throughout this, man, if Georgia's going to have to pull this off, I think they're going to have to lean on Carson Beck a lot more than what they want to do here, because right now their running game is not where it has been throughout. And as you can see with Georgia's offense, 57% to 57% 43 pass to run ratio here. They're going to have to lean on Carson Beck to basically air it out against Texas's secondary. So I think Georgia has the weapons to do so, and I'm curious to see how Texas responds against a passing threat like Georgia's right now, because I don't think they've actually ran up against a passing threat all season long. So this is going to be a true challenge to this number 1 rated defense that we're seeing from Texas so far. So let's get ready to it, man. I'm looking forward to this challenge, man. It's going to be really, really exciting to see this. So for the computer projection, it has Texas favored with a 72.7% win probability, and the model actually has them favored by a little bit over 7 points here. So when it comes down to the model, it does not factor in weather, injuries, or anything of that nature. I know Smile Munden for Georgia is going to be out for this game, and that is a big loss for the Bulldogs defense. So I'm not really worried too much that the model is a little bit more than what Vegas has it. Vegas is in the business to make money and to make sure that the betting is a little bit even, so they make sure they get even money. So with that being said, as far as the winner of this game, to be honest with you, I think Georgia's going to come into this game showing some desperation. I do think Texas they haven't been tested, in my opinion. I know the Michigan game going up to the Big House, that was a big game for them. But as we have seen from Michigan lately, the defense is pretty solid, but the offense is just a big, colossal mess. From what I'm seeing through Georgia, I think they have figured out their identity a little bit within the last couple of weeks. They're leaning on Carson Beck and that arm, and I think they have the offensive line to protect him and keep him upright. If they cannot protect Carson Beck, then I think they're going to get hammered. They're going to get blown out if that happens, and it's going to get ugly quick. In my opinion, though, I do think Texas is a little bit better than Georgia at this stage of the season. And for Texas, I think they're going to have to show everyone, not necessarily their fans, but the people who are watching them or for the first time watching them. I think they're going to have to show them that, they are a legitimate college football playoff contender, national championship contender. I think they're going to have to prove to everybody that by beating Georgia, that they're the real deal. And I think they're going to show that on Saturday. It's going to be a crazy game. DKR is going to be wild. Kind of wish that they were playing them throughout the day, but it's definitely a solid choice for a primetime matchup. So I'm going to pick Texas to come away with the win. As far as covering the spread, I think Georgia is going to cover, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of seeing this as like a 3-point game for Texas, so to speak. So with that being said, that is it for this game preview. Let me know what your thoughts are in the game in the comment section below. Give me your score prediction. Tell me why your favorite team is going to win. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like. And if you love college football, please subscribe to this channel and also take a look at the website at collegefbgeek.com. Thank you for visiting the channel and have a great week.